So Giri and Mayank, right? So did you, Mayank, yeah. Oh, I know this name, but I think you're not been in the session, but I think your name has come up in the registration somewhere, right? Yeah, thank you, Mayank. Welcome. We are trying to build a community of change makers, especially consultants, trainers, and coaches who work with organizations. So
Okay.
it could be entrepreneurs, it could be small and medium enterprise, large enterprise, it could be NGOs, government, but any form of organization, right? So that's where we are focusing on, and we are doing this exercise here in India, as well as parallelly we are building in Philippines, and we would also be working in other countries, Canada to be precise, and Thailand. So these are the places where we'll start, and then we'll expand. Through Philippines, we are looking to expand in Southeast Asia because of our contacts there. And then some of our people would try to also expand into New Zealand and Australia. Right, so this will slowly, at its own pace, become a global community. That is the intention. And all of you are most welcome, and you're requested to be partners in expanding this community. Now, what is the role here? So we want to create a community that becomes our strength. So instead of individuals working as individuals or small companies, we want to have each change maker be fully supported by the community. Like they should feel that they are not alone in the world. They're not trying to make a difference in the world alone, but they have a full community backing them up in many, many ways. Okay. And so each change maker feels nurtured and taken care of, and is that's the whole thing. I'll actually say it in this way. I'll share the screen to capture the spirit of what I'm saying. Give me a second. Let me know when you can see the screen.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're creating a nurturing community where change makers experience being supported, valued, empowered, and fulfilled. And the other thing is, so for every change maker, this is what we want to say. You're not alone. Community is your strength. The community is there to support you in many ways. And on the flip side, you are the community. Right? So we are all kind of backing each other up. We're all coming together and bringing in the strength of the community to back each other. Now, inside of this, what we are looking at, as we discussed with a couple of people, and we are currently trying with a structure of weekly calls on Zoom like this, Tuesday evening, 7 to 8 p.m., in which alternate weeks we will have this session, learning sessions, and alternate weeks we will have connection and networking sessions. So in the learning session, like today is supposed to be a learning session. So in the learning session, we will have one or two people from the community. Sometimes we may also invite people from outside the community, but preference would always be given to people who are from the community to do a 10-minute presentation on a topic, followed by a 5-minute Q&A. And so we could have two such presentations, and then there could be a group discussion or a breakout room discussion on either of those topics or on some other relevant topic. So that will be the structure of the learning session. As we build the momentum in that, these learning sessions will gauge the interest areas, and we could also be offering 1 hour master classes on different topics. Again, those will also be complementary. Then, depending on the interest areas and the experts, there could be also some kind of other workshops or other learning opportunities which could be highly subsidized for the community. That will again depend on the concerned expert. So that is from the learning side. In the other alternative week, we would be doing connection and networking, where we will talk about, everybody will get chance to talk about the projects they have done, how they focus on things, what are the specializations, and then we could have further interactions based on that. So this is the current plan. Along with these Zoom networking sessions and learning sessions, we are having other two platforms. One is the WhatsApp group, just for basic communication, and the main group that we want to work on is the LinkedIn group. So if you are a new person in this meeting today, after this meeting, at the end of the meeting, I will give you the WhatsApp group link and the LinkedIn group link. You can join there. The LinkedIn group link is where you can do maximum sharing. You could share your profiles, you could share your projects, you could share your articles and blogs and maybe even videos and everything. So that's the main playground for the community. Okay, so this is our current plan. And if anything you would like to ask, you can ask now. And also we would like Mayank and Giri to say something about themselves. Just since this is your first time, maybe you can say something about yourself to introduce yourself to the community.
All right, Mayank, you
Okay,
can go
no
first.
worries.
Manoj.
Okay. So, how do you want to start, from past to present or present to past?
2 minutes.
What would you all prefer?
2 minutes, whatever you want to say.
Okay. So my overall experience is in branding, advertising, research. These are three domains that I take care of. The core, the big umbrella is marketing. I have formed my own agency in 2017 called as Photosynthesis Branding Solutions. Prior to that, I have a 10 to 12 years of experience, especially in branding, research branding, marketing domains. Uh, the like how we do marketing is not any kind of regular agency that does. We take a three-pronged approach, which is basically consulting, strategy, and execution. And that depends upon objective that clients or anybody wants to achieve. So that comes the logic of goal. It's basically very specific. The goal and objective that client want to achieve. For that, we have a product called as Core KYC, which is basically know your company, your competitor, your customer, know your community, which helps you to map the end user, the buyer, and the people who influence the buying decision. Once this mapping is done, and it is a set of questions that we have created, it becomes very easy to create a marketing plan, digital marketing plan, and an MVP for any brand in terms of branding and marketing, what needs to be done. Then for startups, we have a very specific product called as pitch deck consulting, where we basically work from a point of view. It is not just about creating the presentation, it is more about creating an opportunity matrix. In that matrix, we help startups to come up where the money will go, what will be the source of that money, and how it is going to spend, and what will be the metrics of that money. Because when this happens, the investors get really interested, and that is where the actual funding can happen. These are the two big products. Rest, we provide single services also in terms of SEO, social media, that goes on. But that really depends upon what objective we want to achieve. Like if you come up to just do social media for the sake of doing it, we will not do it. We will ask why you want to go for this platform, why not this platform. There has to be a tangible enough reason, because even if two companies are in same domain with same turnover, same everything, the marketing will be different, the platforms will be different because the objective is different.
Great.
So that's how we function. It is purely backed by research, it is purely backed by consulting with the top management, middle management, and the lower level management. Based on that, the full marketing plan or any single service is catered to for the customer.
Okay,
Like for
great.
many clients, we only do LinkedIn. Like we have a cybersecurity client where they were spending around 2 lakhs a month. We took the consulting approach and we cut the budget to 75,000 a month. because they only required LinkedIn and SEO, nothing else. They were doing everything. So for many companies, every marketing is not right. Sometimes it is just one or two
Yeah.
platforms
Thank
that
you.
will
Got
help you.
to,
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
yeah.
And just one line.
Just a basic introduction about yourself, right?
Yes,
And
marketing is also doing on consistent basis. That's it.
yeah, okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Uh, so all of us would have a lot of things to share, and we would love that you share it on the LinkedIn group. That's the platform where you can share more about in details about our products and services and offerings and accomplishments and everything, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you very much. Welcome. And Giri, over to you.
Yeah, I will take a much shorter time, and it's very simple. I am originally from Kerala, born and brought up in Calcutta, studied from St. Xavier's, then came out of IIM Kolkata, then went and did my LLB, then worked for some few companies, got disenchanted by the so-called top multinationals and big Indian companies. Then went and did my PhD in behavioral science from State University, Pennsylvania. And then came back, married a girl from Bombay, from my own community. Then ever since that, for the last 35, 40 years, I am into corporate training. And I do only large corporates, 4,000 crores and above. And I do only senior management. And I do offsite trainings only. And have been doing it for the last so many years. And that's it. Things are going on. I have a small website which was made on the day internet was made, called girishankar.com. Also have a inert page of around. I also do programs on storytelling. So I have about 56 stories posted, 56 or 60 stories posted in LinkedIn, and that's how it is. I mean, senior management, large companies, and my primary strength, core strength, is changing attitudes.
Fantastic.
That's it.
Thank you very much for joining in. And we request you to use the LinkedIn group to share more. You can share about your profiles. And also, if you want to give access to your articles, you can share there on that.
It's just available. GS Ventures or Pain Point Solutions. It's just there. If you just search for it, you'll get it.
Yeah. Okay. I think if you put it on the community page, you send the link there. That is better. If you wished, that would
Okay.
what help
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you very much for joining in, Giri. And Vikas, welcome. Vikas Goyal is also from NCR. And Vikas, you want to take 2 minutes to introduce yourself.
Yes, Manoj, thank you. Thank you, Manoj, and for a great opportunity. And as Manoj mentioned, I stay in Faridabad, and it's a place next to Delhi. And I've been into now. I've started my own. I was working with one of the training and organization from last 20 years, and from last 3 months, I have my own, and I'm into teams performance coaching, and I'm coaching I have 3 clients in my hand as of now. And so that is what's there. And I usually work with the teams on their performance.
Okay, good. Welcome.
Thank
So
you.
we have somebody who's as fresh in the game as Vikas, and we have somebody who's been there for centuries, right? So, like Gary and a couple of others. So thank you very much, everybody. And today we have invited Rajneesh to introduce the world of ERPs to us. So we're going to spend some time with Rajneesh, and he will take us through the world of ERPs. Some of us are familiar with it. Some of us may be partially familiar, and some of us, maybe this would be like a beginning of a new topic for them. That's going to be one of the topic. The second topic is going to be around sales, and we'll talk a little bit more about that after Rajneesh's session. So Rajneesh, are you ready? You're on mute. Rajneesh, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. And will you allow me to share my
Yeah, it's
screen?
on. It's on now.
Right. Okay.
So you want to just say a line or two about yourself and
Yeah.
take it forward from there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm a engineer from IIT Roorkee. Then did my MBA from Xavier's Bhubaneswar. I worked for roughly 26 years, 13 of which was with for-profits, 13 of which was with not-for-profits. And so one of my repetitive assignments was basically implementation of ERPs. So now I've started my own consulting company roughly 7, 8 years back, and I'm focusing on business process reengineering. Plus, we also help our clients in selection of ERPs and in implementation of ERPs. Like Manoj said, ERP is a very common term. Some people may know a lot about it, but then within the group, we may also have some people who may not have any idea about ERP. So I'm pitching it at people who have no idea. I'm assuming right now that, look, everybody has no idea about ERP. So I'll start with basics. And if there are, if somebody wants to discuss it, or somebody already has some information and wants to take it, we can take it either in the breakout session, or we can take it offline tomorrow. Right. So the first thing is that if we look at the world today, right, technology has changed our world drastically. So some of the things that have happened is, one, technology now has increased the pace as well as the scope of information dissemination. Today we are connected to everybody in the world. If you look at, I mean, somebody puts in a tweet and it reaches millions of people within minutes, right? People can access it. So this is one thing that has happened, and because of it, a lot of transparency has come in, right? And now, as we see with e-commerce, etc., people, I mean, we don't even have pockets of information, different pockets of information at different places. For example, I mean, today, anybody who's shopping at Amazon in India, or let us say anybody shopping for a jeans, right, can immediately also check that what is the price available online. We want to book our air tickets, we can compare tickets across airlines and then decide which one to choose. So the world has become very, very competitive. And as managers, we are also under a lot of pressure to cut costs, provide better quality, right? Because like I said, I mean, when it is competitive, we just can't rest on saying, look, we can pass on a poor product, or we can pass on a highly priced product. So typically, what do managers need? Managers need dashboards, information systems where they can get live information so that they can take decisions based on the information that they have, not of what had happened, let us say, 1 day back or 1 week back. Second thing is that because the whole world has become competitive, right, we are also, and it's becoming more and more, let us say, riskier, right? There are different kind of risks that a company is exposed to, and there are a lot of compliance requirements. So companies want to reduce their risks. They want to reduce the risk of fraud, right? Because of electronics, now you can have systems, data being hacked, etc. And companies don't like that. So what they need is a software which actually can include all this, and this is where ERP comes in. Unlike other softwares, like for example, if you look at Tally or something, it's basically a financial accounting software. What it does not give you is a workflow. Workflow in the sense that in an ERP, if people can actually submit online expense statements, they can be reviewed and approved online, and the payments can be made online, right? Similarly, if somebody is working in sales, he may develop a proposal for the customer. The manager may review it online, approve it, and then he can email it. So all these workflows, all the necessary approvals, everything is inbuilt in ERP. Right? So that's the reason why this is a software that is lot in demand. And now we are getting more and more software, things like automation, etc., information IoT technologies. But all these technologies are getting layered on the ERPs. ERPs are something that is never going to go away. And when we talk of ERP, that's why what we hear are two terms. We hear configuration and customization. Right. Now, because of the format of this presentation, I take the interviews at the end of it. So please, if you have any queries or something, just write them down and I'll take them in the Q&A answer. It will be more of one-way traffic at this point of time. So like I said, ERPs are complex softwares. They include various kind of policies. So for example, when it comes to issue of inventory, right? Companies may either be going in for FIFO, which is first in, first out. Material that has come in first is issued out first. It could be LIFO, material that came in last is issued out first. And then there are also things like expiry first, right? So there are certain inventory items which have an expiry date and we don't want them to expire. So ERP has a provision to implement all the three options. Now, when the ERP implementer comes in, he looks at what are the options that the company needs, right? For which product do you need FIFO? Are there any products that require LIFO? Are there any products which require expiry out? And they configure the system accordingly. But there could also be scenarios where the company may be doing things differently and hence may require a solution which is only applicable to that company. And this is where customization comes in. The implementer then will add code to the ERP software to make that happen. So we talked about ERPs, we talked about how it's a central database, and that is because it has multiple modules. So initially what had started was people realized that they need accounting, they need information, they need different kind of financial reports. So we had financial accounting packages, like I said, Tally. But then people realized that, look, inventory is very important and they need to monitor that also. So they had softwares to monitor the inventory. And then few companies, what they did was they married the two and they came out with softwares which had both financial application and which also had application to cater to inventory, which could issue material, which could take in material in inventory and churn out reports on inventory valuation, right? How many items are there? What is their value? And they could also churn out data for costing. So these were called material resource planning. And because they were also used for material planning, slowly people included production and quality in it. People included procurement module in it. Right. So the company does its production planning, realizes that what material it is running short of, orders and procures them. Right. Slowly, other modules like human resource module, sales, fixed assets, etc., were also added. Today, there are ERP companies that have also come up with ESG modules, like for example, SAP, Oracle. So they also help companies be ESG compliant. So we talked about different modules, but what does a module contain? Right. So I'll take example of finance and accounts module. So the first thing a finance and accounts module would provide for is accounting policies and standards. So it would have processes that, like I said, that can be configured, but it still would have workflows, etc. For example, if you're doing accrual accounting, then every transaction, there has to be two parts to a transaction. One is accrual of expenses, one is payment of expenses. So the software will be designed accordingly. The other important thing is and this is where ERP is different from other softwares like Tally, etc. It provides roles and access rights. Roles and access rights means that within, let us say, finance and account unit, you have head of the finance department. There could be finance officer, finance executive. There could be manager, general manager. Now, all of them have certain responsibilities and all of them are allowed to do certain tasks. So the role and access sub-module or administration module ensures that people can only log in their account and they can only do things that they've been allowed to do. And this is where ERPs, like I said, they reduce the risk of fraud, they reduce the risk of non-compliance, right? Because if let us say the document has to be approved by the manager, unless the document approves the document, it won't go to the next workflow station, right? While physically, if we see it, we can always skip it. For example, when the material is coming in, and if the requirement is that yes, it has to come in with all the documents, right? Physically, if a document is short, people still take the material in. But in ERP, that would not be possible. So until and unless the document is appended, it may not allow the material to come in. And that's the reason why ERP becomes a pain, because it brings in a lot of discipline. It is actually a change management project than just a software implementation project. So it also allows, like I said, various checks and balances to be built in, right? They could be, so for example, if a certain material is to be procured along with some specifications, right? It can allow those kind of checks and balances to be put in, right? Then within accounting, sometimes we also have a lot of automated transactions that are manual. Like for example, expenses are accrued in towards the end of a period, and the transactions are reversed in the next period. So these kind of transactions, what we can do is we can configure the ERP to write automated transactions for it. So we write accruals, and the reversal entry is written by the system itself. Similarly, if you want to monitor our payments, so for example, if we have a vendor with whom the credit term is 45 days, and another vendor with whom the payment term is 30 days, and we receive the bills today, we can actually configure it that the payment or the check would be written only after 30 days or 45 days. And then there are accounting segments or chart of accounts. These are basically, chart of accounts are nothing but account codes. Accounting segments are things like cost centers, location codes, etc. These are additional details that we can put in to track our financial transactions better. The ERPs are actually classified in various ways. So today we have different kind of ERPs. There are ERPs that are renowned internationally, like SAP, Oracle, BAN, etc., which are used across companies, across industries, right? They're used by medium-sized companies. They're also used by larger-sized companies. Then there are ERPs that are only available in certain markets, right? So they could be available at a national level. For example, in India, we have Ramco, we have Unicorps, etc., which are only available in India. And then there are also some local players who also have developed their own ERPs. Now, obviously, when we're talking of different levels, we are also talking of different complexity. So ERPs like SAP, Oracle, they're very complex because they can cater to different kind of industries, different kind of different level of companies. So they try and accommodate as many business scenarios as possible. But if you buy a ERP from a local player, the software may not be very complex. It may not allow certain features. So for example, if there is a financial transaction and you want to kind of reverse it, you may not be able to do that in ERP produced by a local person. Yeah, for example, in SAP, etc. So companies that are dealing with imported material or exports sometimes may require foreign currency transactions. Now, and if you have the balances have to be revalued. I don't know how many people are accountants and understand it. These are some jargon, so I'm sorry. I mean, but I can take them in the question answer session if somebody wants it. So these kind of facilities are available in automatic this thing or apportionment of expenses. So these kind of utilities might be available in international or reputed ERPs, but may not be available with ERPs developed by local or small players. So again, so ERPs could be very simple to very complex. People have also created industry-specific ERPs, let us say for the dairy industry, for the logistics industry, etc. Right? Now, ERPs typically...
Time is up, so if you can start wrapping up. Yeah?
Yeah, okay, fine. So then there is things about ownership of code. I mean, there are open source ERPs, there are proprietary ERPs that are now available as a in SaaS model, right, where the data and everything, the software is kept in the cloud, and you can just kind of take it from there and use it. And these are some of the companies that are internationally renowned for their ERPs, right? Now, Sage is a low-end ERP. SAP, Infor, Microsoft Dynamics, Oracle, PeopleSoft, these are very renowned ERPs. Now, there are some companies also have multiple versions of their ERPs or different kind of products, right? So, for example, Oracle has JD Edwards, which is very good for manufacturing. It also has its e-business suite, right? Similarly, Microsoft Dynamics has D365. SAP has SAP B1 for smaller businesses, SAP S4HANA for larger businesses. So this is it. If there is time, I can take one more slide. Otherwise, I'll end it here.
Yeah, you can pause and then let's see. Let's take it in the Q&A and we'll take it further.
Okay,
yeah?
right.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you very much, Rajneesh. Let's appreciate Rajneesh. Thank you very much. You can stop your screen sharing, and then as you take response, if you need to use the screen again as you respond to the questions, you can do that.
Right. Okay.
So thank you very much once again, Rajneesh, and the floor is open. If anybody wants to ask some questions, please go ahead. Giri, go ahead.
Yeah.
Rajneesh, I want to know.
Wait, Upma,
Okay, sorry. Giri, you go first.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a couple of questions. I'm far away from academics and such theoretical understanding. Never dealt with these. Maybe way back in my teens. But very curious question. Okay. Can you give me an example for LIFO?
example for LIFO, I don't recollect it offhand, right? But yes, there are occasions when companies want to use LIFO.
I understand. We use LIFO, FIFO in the same breath, but I do not get to have much of examples. Okay, if you don't have it, it's fine. Another one basic question coming from the field that I am from in terms of attitudes. Where does personal excellence show up in an ERP software for a user, for a group user, like 10 or 15 people using in an office? And you say it is, you do what you are told to do. There is no fraud. Everything else seems to be jacketed. In that place, how do I shine out?
I don't get your question because all we are saying is, look, what ERP is doing it is digitizing the workflow processes.
Yeah, I
Right?
don't think.
And within a company, there are good performers, there are bad performers.
No, I
The
think,
performance appraisal is there in HR module, where just like physically when you do a appraisal and capture it on documents, it can be captured in the ERP system also, and the data can be stored.
Rajneesh,
Is
can
there
I
a
answer
scope
it for you?
for personal?
no,
Yeah,
Mohit,
please
don't
go
do
ahead.
Is there a
Please
scope?
go ahead. Yeah.
Is there
No,
a scope for personal excellence in ERP?
Yeah,
That's the simplest way to ask. Yeah.
Giri,
Very
I'll
much there.
attempt to answer it. In the
Yeah.
organizations which do not have any ERP system, it is very difficult to measure. First, it's difficult to assign, track, and measure the performance. ERP gives you that that tool in hand, where actually in each individual how much he was supposed to do and how much he has actually done. It is easily measured, and what gets measured gets improved. Otherwise, so that is where ERP plays a
It's
role.
quantification of work. What I'm hearing is quantification of work.
Yes, eventually
not hearing
quantification is
excellence.
important.
I'm not
Pardon
hearing
me?
excellence.
yeah, Giri, I think I would recommend.
Let's take it offline, Giri.
Yeah, no,
I'd
no.
like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
understand your question exactly where you're coming from, right? Because
Sure.
like I said, the performance can be captured, and if a person is doing a good job, that can be captured. So when you say
Sure.
business excellence, what exactly do you mean? I'd like to understand that before responding to it.
Yeah, sometime we can pick up. No issue.
No, we can
I'm
pick
done.
it up tomorrow. I'll take your this thing and I'll message you.
Sure.
And then, I mean, based on the discussion, I'll come back to the group and share our discussion in the group, so other people can also learn about it.
Okay.
Right, Ms. Shriyank?
Thank you.
Upma, you had a question.
Just I wanted in 2 lines, if I have to understand, what does ERP do? What would you say to a layman? Like,
Two things, Upma. Like I said in my presentation, one, it provides a central database.
okay,
Right? To explain what it means. See, earlier when people had different different software, like for example, today you're using email system. So whenever you submit a proposal to the customer, you receive a confirmation from the customer. It's stored in an email, right? Today, your email system can be integrated in an ERP. So that data can flow in an ERP, and the ERP becomes a repository for all the data in the company in a consistent format. So all the data on what the company is producing, what the company has sold, what the company has purchased, how many people are working, who is working, what is their salaries, what their performance has been,
it's sort of
everything.
everything about the company together on a same platform and
Yes.
accessible to everyone in a way of the.
Yes, depending
Right.
on your roles and access
Yeah.
rights.
Okay.
So if you're allowed to access, you can access the data.
And it
right?
does take care of supply chain also?
Yes, supply chain also. So that is the biggest advantage, because earlier what would happen is, I don't know if people who remember, you could have some data on DBase or Foxbase. You could have some data on some other format, right? Some data on Excel.
I'll give you an example. In our industry where garments are made, the data is shared from now the fabric is sourced to the person who makes it, puts on the data that we have manufactured this. designers put in their designs, and I think all the partners can see it, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's also.
So even merchandiser. So for example, merchandising is very
Mm.
difficult and tracking.
Mm,
So if you have a good ERP which is implemented well, depending based on how well the person has understood the requirements of the company, you
mm.
can check all that.
Now
So
I
that is
relate.
one. Yeah.
Okay, it's
So
been there
that
in
is
the
one
parallel
advantage
system
of
now for 10 years. Minimum 10 years, there are companies doing that. Minimum 10 years.
like Shahi Exports, etc. have been doing it.
Everyone,
Orient Craft also.
everyone
Right.
now, the brands also. Okay, I got you.
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
So that is one part of it. The second part of it is your workflow processes. See, typically what would happen is, like I gave you an example, right? In a company, somebody wants something. So he will typically go and request the purchase department that I want this material. Purchase department would send out RFQs saying, look, we want this material, give us the quotes, right? So earlier, all this was done manually by people in different, again, different formats, etc.
Departments.
Right? Yeah, different departments, different formats. Now what happens is all of it can be digitized. So you don't have to fill a form, right?
Yes.
You just go online and send in a request saying, look, I need this material. The procurement department will receive it. The procurement officer will receive it. He can check it in the inventory online whether the material is available or not. If it is available, it can be issued to you. If he has to procure it, he has his vendors listed on the system for it. Look, I want to buy camera. Okay, these are the 3 camera suppliers I have on my list. Or these are the 3 fabric suppliers I have, right? He can actually reach out to them, or accessory suppliers, whatever. So he reaches out to them. He gets a quote from them that can be evaluated on the system itself, approved on the system.
So
So you
ERP
don't
is a
require any
platform.
paper. Yeah, you don't require any paper. It is a
Yes.
platform.
Yes, yes. Got
Right.
that.
So, and then what you can do is you can actually layer other softwares on top of it. Like, for example, there is this, we have a client, Blue Cactus, right, which works with now Amazon, Flipkart, Aditya Birla Group, etc. And they have actually created another software on top of it to help the merchandisers. Right. So merchandisers
They're
can track.
customizing the client's requirement.
Yeah, so they can track, because what they've done is they've given access to the vendors onto that platform, not to the ERP because of security reasons.
Yes.
So vendors can put in their day-to-day production against a particular order. They let the company know that, look, today we have shipped it.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
So merchandiser is in kind of complete control. He knows what needs to be pushed and where is it that the person can sit back.
No,
right?
yeah, got you.
Yep.
I got you.
Okay.
So now when you're sharing this, what
let's
would
move
you
on, Upma.
Can I just?
Yeah, for me, there are 2 points specifically. One initially has been LinkedIn only, so I get references there. Collaboration with one of the leading franchisee distributor in MP. So these are the 2 points I actually focus on currently.
Deepika, can you repeat? I couldn't hear you in between.
One is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And second is a collaboration with one of the franchisee distributors in MP. So he gets networking components like BNI or something else. He is into PSC chamber. So that's one point, because they are into networking. So I float my things to them.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Somebody else?
I also use LinkedIn a lot in terms of finding what people, our competition is doing and what brands need according to my services. And then I also use writing proposals to the marketing heads or whosoever is appropriate. So sending up proposals as well as tapping on various brands, connecting with them on LinkedIn. These 2 things I'm doing for marketing. I'm in business development. There's lots more, but I'm doing this. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Yes, somebody else? Yeah, Giri, go ahead, please.
I'm doing something slightly different. I am totally outside internet or any of these electronic media or platforms. because we are actually very personal and private with our participants. And I have a huge database of almost 3.5 lakhs of my participants over the last 30 years.
Wow.
And got the person who's joined me in my first program as a management trainee today is the chairman of a corporation. And okay, so we have a one-to-one, face-to-face, intimate relationship. And they are, per se, we are followers of each other. And what I have recently designed is what is known as corporate pain point management. Corporate pain point management is you go to the chairman or the director and ask him, what is his pain? So it could be that his entire marketing team has left him right before the season. Or there is some set of people who have joined and they are into ninja work. Or anything can happen to an
Hey, your
organization. and they-
volume went out. I couldn't hear you. Giri?
yeah.
Yeah.
So anything can happen to an organization all on a sudden, irrespective of the best management systems and all that, people issue, market issue, or weather or anything. And then they go through a vacuum and they want to resolve it as quickly as possible without affecting the overall structure and policy of the company. There's something like I'll give you a small example and how it all started. We had one company which came in for a regular training program. We fixed everything and all that. And then the director went away. And after some time, I started following up and saying that, hey, why is the check not coming? Why is your dates not getting finalized? Why are my air tickets not coming? He suddenly said, my entire marketing team has ditched me. Man plus 35 has left. The entire marketing team has left, plus one man plus 35. What do I do? And that's the time we got into this whole understanding that, hey, I can give you the people. We can actually plug in this entire thing with a set of professionals. I have people who want good, challenging work, but don't want to be your employee. We will charge you a fee, we'll take out, and not even your shareholders will know. We will come, we will do your marketing, we will set up a new set of people who will handhold and will take on. And then we will withdraw after 6 months, 9 months, depending upon what the wound is.
All right.
And this is a huge billing.
Yeah.
This is a huge billing. Okay.
Understood.
And this is what we call as mining from our own experience and our own database. And
Got
there is no LinkedIn, there's no telling others that we are saving. We are the NDF, the disaster management.
Right.
Okay. This is what we are doing.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. Thanks for sharing that. Okay. Yes, Amar, anything for you?
Yeah, it's been about 3-4 months back that I moved out from a full-time job. So it's like finding my steps now into HR consulting work, as well as coaching and mentoring. So I want to put myself in that space and kind of slowly started getting to LinkedIn and also networking to see where this leads me. Baby steps at this point in time.
Okay. Got that. Great. Radhakrishnan?
Actually, any form of networking. That's what I was doing throughout my career, and now also I'm doing same thing. Maybe LinkedIn, or maybe a mail, or maybe telephone. Just browse your phone, get the contacts. That's how I'm doing.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Rajneesh?
We use the same LinkedIn, blogs on our website, and then connects. Our customers give us references. In fact, all our assignments actually have come from connects only, from references.
Okay, brilliant. Mohit?
I've been using variety of channels to reach my customers. For the corporates, I have been using Direct Connect, this WhatsApp, and of course LinkedIn. And for the B2C kind of connects, that's for I'm talking about my travel business as of now. And there I have used
We are looking at
Facebook
Mohit, we are
and
looking more
Instagram.
from the consulting business side.
Yeah, so I have brought that same thing into consulting also.
Right.
WhatsApp and LinkedIn and email have worked well for me to reach out to corporates.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, so time is running out and we want to close on time. So I have sent you on the Zoom chat the community connect, so you can take the survey if you have not done the survey, and I've given here the WhatsApp group link, the LinkedIn group link, and also the YouTube channel link. And we request you to join in there. We will be meeting on next Tuesday, and next Tuesday would be more of connecting and networking. So we would get more chance to talk about our projects, the kind of work that we have done, and we'll build from there on that. In the meanwhile,
Okay.
if you want to reach out to me, please feel free to reach out to me for any discussions, any brainstorming, any suggestions. Thank you very much for
Giri,
joining in there.
Thanks.
Giri, I've shared my number to you. Let me know if the